Good morning, and welcome to today's New York City Council hearing from the Committee on Higher Education. At this point, I'd like to remind everyone to please silence their electronic devices, and at no point is anyone to approach the dais unless invited to testify. If you'd like to testify and want to sign up, please feel free to fill out a slip, look at the back at the desk of the Sergeant at Arms. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Good morning. I'm Councilmember Eric Dinowitz, Chair of the Committee on Higher Education and proud CUNY alum. Welcome to our oversight hearing on the new CUNY School of Medicine. I know CUNY School of Medicine is not new. It is, however, newly independent. So congratulations. And congratulations to all the doctors of various stripes in the back nodding their heads. Last November 19th, Governor Hochul announced that CUNY Medicine will become an independent institution, moving from being a constituent school of the City College of New York to being under the auspices of the CUNY Graduate Center. The move elevated the school to a graduate-level institution, adding master's, doctoral, and postgraduate residency programs, and aligned it with medical schools across the country. The press release also noted that CUNY Medicine will continue to use its holistic admissions process, with no medical college admission test or MCAT scores being required, which will continue to widen the scope of opportunities available for prospective students. CUNY Chancellor Felix Matos Rodriguez commented that elevating the CUNY School of Medicine to a standalone institution will ensure that medical careers and healthcare services are available to more people from all backgrounds and every community in New York City. Although total medical school enrollment in the U.S. is very slightly more diverse than it was 7 years ago, with Black and African American enrollment up from about 8% to 10%, with Hispanic, Latino, and Spanish origin enrollment up from about 10% to 12%. This year's numbers of Black and Latino incoming medical students in the U.S. are down by about 10%. And any downward trend is very concerning. However, CUNY Medicine's enrollment numbers are quite different from that picture. In fact, CUNY Medicine is doing a lot to change that landscape, at least for us New Yorkers. I'm sure we're going to hear about those numbers in today's testimony, which I look forward to. I want to acknowledge we've been joined by Councilmember Christopher Marte. I would also like to thank Adam Staropoli, my Legislative and Budget Director, Jenna Klaus, my Chief of Staff, Rachel Conti, the committee's Legislative Counsel, Regina Paul, the committee's Policy Analyst, and Sahar Moazami, the committee's outgoing counsel, which is, I guess, good news for New York City and good news for the council, but selfishly terrible news for me. You've been my right hand at these hearings, telling me what I'm about to say is not legal or not wise. And I'm certainly going to miss you being right by my side at these meetings. So congratulations on your, I'd say, a very lateral move, but others, real people would say a promotion. Congratulations. I would like to remind everyone who wishes to testify in person today that you must fill out an appearance card, which is located on the desk of the Sergeant at Arms near the entrance of this room. Please fill it out even if you've already registered to testify in advance. To allow as many people as possible to testify, public testimony will be limited to 2 minutes per person. I'm also going to ask my colleagues to limit their questions and comments to 5 minutes. Please note that witnesses who are here in person will testify before those who are on Zoom. In accordance with the rules of the council, I will administer the affirmation to the witness from CUNY. Please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony to this committee and to respond honestly to council member questions? I do. Thank you. As a reminder to our witness, please state your name prior to your testimony for the record. You may begin.
Yes? Okay. I'm Carmen Renee Green, MD. Got it? Good morning, Chairman Dinowitz and members of the Higher Education Committee. It is an honor to appear before you today. I look forward to a wonderful conversation. As I mentioned, I am Dr. Carmen Renee Green, MD, President and Dean of the City University of New York School of Medicine, the home of healers, leaders, and scholars. The timing of this hearing could not be better, as this is the first chance we've had to speak since the major mid-November announcement that we are now a freestanding academic medical school within CUNY. We value your oversight and welcome your partnership. Our medical school includes several degree-granting programs, one of the country's longest established physician assistant programs, yielding a master's of science and physician assistant studies, our accelerated 3-year BS at the Sophie Davis School of Biomedical Education, and our MD program, as well as our iconic 7-year BS MD program. My first day at City University of New York was on October 4th, 2021. I arrived during a time of tremendous turmoil. There were unprecedented changes in K through 16 education, higher education, medical education, and in healthcare. I came in the midst of a national pandemic to the epicenter to lead a young medical school that has since 2020 was on provisional probation. My first meeting with the Liaison Commission on Medical Education, my first meeting of the day of my first day, was with the LCME accreditors. They accredit medical schools. This is actually my second testimony before the council. 2 months after my arrival on December 3rd, 2021, I provided testimony to this committee. At the time, the medical school was a division under the auspices of City College. Today, I am pleased to speak to a council where many CUNY alumni lead. I'm a board-certified academic anesthesiologist, fellowship-trained pain medicine physician, and physician scientist. I was a tenured professor of anesthesiology, obstetrics and gynecology, and health management and policy at the University of Michigan Schools of Medicine and Public Health. And I'm now a professor emerita there. As its chief executive officer, I've recruited a seasoned, mission-based executive leadership team with decades of experience honed at other New York City medical schools, as well as one member who brings a decade of service at the White House. Several of them are here with me today. This morning, I have 3 objectives. The first, to provide a brief history about the origin of our school and students. Second, to provide context for the critical importance of CUNY School of Medicine and its unique role in New York City in addressing disparities in higher education and healthcare. Third, to provide an overview of our priorities, engage your support, and suggest ways that we can work together to provide healthcare that is worthy of all New Yorkers. Members, this is a turnaround story of persistence, grit, and resilience. Each day, this scrappy school, along with our sensational students and amazing alumni, use their time, talent, and treasure to care for New York City's most vulnerable and marginalized people. Overall, I am very, very proud to say that a great deal has been accomplished in 3 years. Let me start with background on our school and students, and as well as other medical schools. There are 159 medical schools, MD granting medical schools in the United States, 15 in New York State, the most in the nation, and 7 in New York City. In the minority, approximately 20% are community-based medical schools like Sophie Davis, and now the CUNY School of Medicine. Schools like these were created to address the needs of an underserved population, and may be the country's best hope to eliminate disparities in the maldistribution of the physician workforce. They embrace the social determinants of health, that is, where people live, play, and pray, in an attempt to improve individual, family, and community health. Founded in 1973, the original Sophie Davis Biomedical Education Program was a 5-year program that included 2 preclinical years, but it was not an MD granting medical school. Upon successful completion, students transferred to a cooperating medical school for their 2 remaining clinical years, from which they received their MD degree. I would say we did most of the work, but someone else got to stamp them. Yet, they remain Sophie's forever. Clearly, a change was needed, and beginning in 2016 with provisional accreditation from the LCME, the original Sophie Davis program transitioned into the 7-year BSMD program as part of CUNY School of Medicine, this CUNY School of Medicine that we know today. Over 50 years, the Sophie Davis School continues to deliver an excellent undergraduate pre-medical education. In February 2022, the LCME lifted probation, and in June 2023, we received full 5-year LCME accreditation. And after many stops and starts, CUNY finally had a medical school. In June 2024, the CUNY Board of Trustees declared and resolved that the CUNY School of Medicine would be an independent medical school and CUNY's 26th college. We are very thankful to the Board of Trustees as well as to the Chancellor for highlighting our medical school. In contrast to other New York City medical schools, we are a non-residential school. Most of our students, 650 to 700, are based in the New York City greater metropolitan area, and the majority commute 1 to 1.5 hours each way to attend class. 30%, 30, of our medical students hold down jobs while attending school. While that's not uncommon in undergraduate education, it is extremely uncommon in medical education, and our rate is much higher than the national average for medical schools. In fact, I'd never heard of such until I arrived at West 138th and Amsterdam Avenue. A core value at CUNY School of Medicine is that representation matters. Yet, medicine continues to lag behind. Nearly 80% of medical students in this country come from the top 2 quintiles of household incomes, with almost 25% coming from the top 5% of household incomes. This is not our students. In New York City, 50% of the city's population is Black or Hispanic, but these groups represent only 16% of the city's physician workforce. The traditional pipeline into medicine remains leaky, sometimes broken, for minority and low-income students. We firmly believe in pathway programs, and we offer several ways to encourage New Yorkers to enter the healthcare professions, including a middle school program at the Dr. Richard Izquierdo School in the Bronx, as well as summer and year-long programs directed at high school students. Our highly selective and competitive 7-year barrier-breaking BSMD program streamlines and shortens the path to medical school by providing early admission from high school and facilitating entry into the MD program for exceptional New Yorkers. CUNY School of Medicine students also differ significantly from other medical students in the country and in New York State. Approximately 85% of our students are low income, qualifying for federal need-based financial aid. Approximately 75% are underrepresented in medicine. 60% are first generation, and 11% are immigrants. The majority of our students, clearly 85%, are multilingual, a rarity. This, of course, is a clear asset when caring for New York City's multiracial, ethnic, cultural, and linguistic communities. We are inclusion in action and work assiduously to ensure inclusive excellence across our quadripartite mission. To that end, we look forward to creating pathway programs from community colleges. Members, the last public medical school at New York City was established prior to the Civil War in 1860, 165 years ago. CUNY School of Medicine becomes the second of 2. As the only public MD granting medical school in Manhattan, CUNY School of Medicine exists within a complex, competitive academic ecosystem of private medical schools. Sophie Davis began as a community-based medical school affiliated with Harlem Hospital. We have remained true to those roots. Compared to medical schools in New York State, most CUNY School of Medicine graduates go into primary care. 52%, and nearly 37% serve in health professional shortage areas. Professional shortage areas are designed as those areas without adequate access to health care. Both of these numbers represent a 2.5-fold difference compared to other New York City and New York State medical schools. Another way to look at this is that CUNY School of Medicine provides and maintains the building blocks for a bi-directional bridge from New York City's local neighborhood high schools to medical school, to internship and residency programs, and back again to the community to keep New Yorkers healthy and New York City vital. Thus, many refer to us as New York City's medical school. Although the number of people applying to medical schools, as you mentioned earlier, continues to be steady, sadly, applications from those historically underrepresented in medicine decreased this year by double digits. Despite these trends, applications to CUNY School of Medicine are up 20%. It's a fact that minorities and socioeconomically disadvantaged groups often face colossal hurdles to assessing medical education and to entering medical profession. For example, fees for applications and standardized exams such as the MCAT, the Medical College Admissions Test, present significant barriers. Unlike most medical schools, CUNY School of Medicine uses a holistic process with excellent results and has never used the Medical College Admissions Test. Overall, we have successfully removed obstacles and created on-ramps to careers in medicine for those who are typically marginalized and left behind. Now that I've shared background about our school and students, let me tell you about the state of healthcare and medical education in New York City. A groundbreaking report of 2024, a study of environmental justice issues in New York City, details the staggering environmental inequities faced by almost half of New York City's residents. Nearly the entirety of the Bronx is designated as an environmental justice zone, due in large part to historic policies such as redlining, air pollution, and the proximity to highways, diesel trucks, diminished access to open green spaces, lead paint violations, and coastal storm surges. Chronic exposure to these environmental toxins wreak havoc on the body, our mental health and well-being, as well as cause significant chronic diseases such as asthma, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. In an increasingly aging and diversifying society, it is exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S., New York State, and New York City face a rapidly growing physician shortage, especially in primary care. With an outsized impact on New York City, the Association of American Medical Colleges predicts New York State will experience a shortage of nearly 3,000 physicians by 2028. The impact is more pronounced on disadvantaged, under-resourced, and minoritized people who often have unheard voices and also often carry an unequal burden of disease with diminished quality of life while also dying before their time. Despite these troubling numbers, this is a significant underestimation on what is needed to achieve healthcare equity. We have an important responsibility at CUNY School of Medicine and the opportunity to do more. Where you live matters. Epidemiologic data clearly shows your life expectancy in New York City can change by a decade based upon one subway stop or where you live, going from the Upper East Side to Harlem, traveling on the M101 crosstown. As an example, there are deep and persistent disparities in the prevalence of asthma in New York City, disproportionately Black, Hispanic, youth, and low-income people. Currently, approximately 900,000 adults and 152,000 children in the 5 boroughs carry a diagnosis of asthma. By far, the highest rates are in the Bronx, where 21% of both adults and children are impacted. The literature clearly shows access to preventative care is the most cost-effective way to address socioeconomic disparities. However, 65 million people in the United States, 1/5 of the nation's population, and 8 million people in New York State live in a primary care health professional shortage area, with 2 million of these people, or 25%, living in New York City. Each borough has its own story, but the South Bronx, reaching into Harlem, has the most people living in poverty and health professional shortage areas, with Brooklyn a close second. The map you see in the submitted testimony shows the extent of the healthcare shortages in the city. Our demonstrated commitment to the health of New Yorkers was palpable in March 2020, when the global pandemic descended on New York City. In April, with the city on its knees, this school sprang into action as our students wanted to serve their city. We accelerated the graduation of our MD students, and they went where they were the most needed to treat threatened New York City residents. For us, for them, it was personal, their families, their friends, and their neighbors. Our doctors went into the communities, the most underserved communities from which they came to serve this city. Sadly, amid the pandemic, these graduates did not have a commencement ceremony. A near goal is a comeback graduation to properly recognize them. Calling attention to the map provided, in 2025, one borough at a time, CUNY Medical School is successfully and strategically caring for the underserved, marginalized, and vulnerable communities. We are extremely proud to be awarded a $19.3 million grant over 5 years from the National Institutes of Health to create the New York Center for Minority Health Equity and Social Justice at CUNY School of Medicine, becoming the only research center for minority institutions in the entire northern United States. This is the largest NIH grant ever awarded to CUNY in its 175 history, and clearly we're proud. With a clear focus on Harlem and the South Bronx, areas with troubling educational and health disparities, the center will support research on the interrelated problems of underserved communities in these areas, build an integrated ecosystem to tackle healthcare disparities, health and healthcare disparities, and foster partnerships with local and national networks to improve population health and healthcare outcomes. One last point before I turn to how we can work together. CUNY School of Medicine students intrinsically understand the social determinants of health, and they deeply care about vulnerable and underserved populations and communities. They bring this intrinsic knowledge to their patients and the communities they serve, communities similar to where they were raised. I recently was checking in on our students rotating at Jacoby North Central Bronx. While meeting with members of their executive leadership team, a department chair pulled me aside to say, "Dr. Green, I've taught a lot of medical students, but yours are special." He highlighted their empathy, their compassion, and their care, and how they provided care for the person in the gown, in the bed, not the patient. He went on to tell me how many Sophie grads were at the hospital, often speaking of them by name. Essentially, CUNY School of Medicine is unlocking potential. And upon graduation, as these students walk across the stage, there's a huge return on investment. These students are my why, and it gives me pleasure to watch their impact grow and spread across institutions and to their patients. Simply, quite simply, we are producing the doctors that New York needs and who New Yorkers want to see. We believe talent is equally distributed, and a student should be able to go as far as their hard work and talent can take them. However, resources are not equally distributed, contributing to educational and health disparities. Thus, we at CUNY School of Medicine are committed to addressing the social determinants of medical education, to enhance access to careers in medicine, and to enhance the outcomes of medical education. Now, let me turn to how CUNY School of Medicine can work together with the City Council. we've identified a few ways from the modest to the visionary that this Committee on Higher Education can assist us with. Our important role as a public medical school. We look to you, the Council, as like-minded partners who want to invest in public medical education and the research enterprise that directly benefits New Yorkers and its diverse communities. From the modest, we encourage continued funding from the Council that can build upon the grant previously given to the school. Funding can help us build our scholarship programs. As I mentioned early, and I reiterate that this is the only medical school that I'm aware of where 30% of the medical students work while being full-time students. We need your help. Funding would also continue to build out our Learning Resource Center, pathway programs, Student Wellness Center, community health partnerships with local clinics and hospitals to provide hands-on learning while serving underserved and vulnerable populations. Let me provide one example of funding for student programs. For our undergraduate students, we take the responsibility for their support, services, advising, tutoring, psychological counseling, and professional development seriously. 2 years ago, we began a bridge programs, including a required 6-week pre-matriculation program, 6-week bridge to M1, which is the first year of medical school, and a bridge to clerkship program for second-year medical students. This is another CUNY School of Medicine value-added difference. It is critical for the medicine's future to not leave these activities to others. Funding from the Council would be a strong signal of support to encourage the philanthropic community to invest in our school and, more importantly, in our students. Call it seed capital, if you will. In terms of the cost of attendance, CUNY and its medical schools are value-based propositions. Despite the lowest tuition of all New York State MD granting medical schools, over 90% of our students graduate with over or nearly $200,000 worth of debt, one of the highest in the state. Yet, they choose to participate and practice in New York. They choose primary care, and they serve disproportionately in health professional shortage areas. For a public medical school, I call this an unequal burden of debt. And again, we need your help. I now shift to the visionary. I've learned throughout my career that great schools are active, living, learning communities with outstanding facilities, best-in-class teachers, and talented students. Those talented students wish to learn from the best teachers and scientists. I also remind you that CUNY School of Medicine exists within an extremely competitive academic marketplace, and we educate students on an ultra-lean and highly tuition-dependent operating budget. Upon visiting our campus, and I do hope you'll come, you will see our current facilities are constrained and contained with a nearly 200-year-old high school. New community-based medical schools, which are coming online frequently, with similar class sizes, have beautiful new state-of-the-art facilities. We work in a much smaller footprint of about 87,000 square feet. Yet, every day, this hometown medical school, your hometown medical school, located in Harlem, does really big and awesome things. It leverages its competitive advantage to work in communities across all of New York City's 5 boroughs. In fact, our students' first clinical interaction while wearing their gifted white coats and stethoscopes is likely to occur with their neighbors in safety net hospitals like St. Barnabas Hospital. Day after day, our students defy the odds to address educational and healthcare disparities in real time. As we've outgrown our space, we are looking for a building to house our dreams, which are big. with a modern technology that sharpens minds and skills to make real patients safer. With an ethos of student success and excellence first, we can enhance student outcomes. If our students had a dorm near the school, similar to other New York City medical students. More than convenience is also a matter of student safety, well-being, and academic success. Before I conclude, I would like to give a few brief remarks on bias. In challenging and changing times, this country needs healers and leaders. At CUNY School of Medicine, we come together as a community of healers, leaders, and scholars who care for all New Yorkers. As such, we will not tolerate hate speak. We will not tolerate bullying or any of the isms that tend to divide us. It is inconsistent with our oath, our honor code, and professionalism. It's not acceptable. So, I turn to why a freestanding academic medical school. Our foundational purpose as a freestanding academic medical school is to become the national exemplar in providing access to a world-class medical education. As such, we will work locally to lead nationally. And it's this that we will be known for. All of which is much more attainable as an independent medical school that is fully integrated within the broader CUNY system. Operation as a standalone enables us to effectively and fully implement our vision of advancing medical education, to effectively and fully implement translational community-relevant research, as well as to enhance scholarship. Using a cells to society approach, this facilitates the realization and optimization of mission, while honoring the strengths, interests, and responsibilities of all of our relevant constituents to maintain a coherent and coordinated expression of our purpose and obligations. In doing so, the medical school will advance the goals to eliminate educational, health, and healthcare disparities in our time, thereby achieving inclusion within the medical school and in the medical profession, and equity within the healthcare workforce. CUNY School of Medicine serves as a catalyst to improve healthcare with a demonstrably positive impact on the individual and population health in New York City and New York State. Although I am not a native New Yorker, I've learned to love this city that our beloved student learners call home. I am privileged to be their dean and to be their advocate. We are thankful for like-minded partners like yourself who embrace our mission, value our students' sacrifice and community roots. Working together, I believe we can change the skyline of academic medicine. Members, there are 159 MD granting medical schools in the United States, and it only takes one to make a difference, and I'm betting on us. On behalf of CUNY School of Medicine's healers, leaders, and scholars, I thank you for this time today and the opportunity to update you, as well as your ongoing support. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And one of the things I love about New York is you may not be a native New Yorker, but you're a New Yorker. All right. So
Tell these guys.
she's a New Yorker. All right. So I'm going to start with something. I first want to mention we've been joined by Councilmember Gail Brewer.
Good morning.
She usually gets a round of applause. I want to start
We can see why.
Yes. I want to start with something you ended with. If you can go a little more into just kind of the why. Why, like what CUNY's motivations were really for becoming an independent institution, and perhaps some more examples of how being independent would benefit not just the institution, but what you can provide to our students and our communities.
To begin with, the governance structure was unusual for a medical school. This is provided a unique opportunity, and we we celebrate our roots. As all of us, we came from the CUNY, from City College roots. But comes a time, there's a time in which you know that you can do more, right? And one of the things that we look forward to doing more, to date, the only place that students could come through is through City College of New York. We know that there's talent out within the entire CUNY. And we think that there should be an opportunity for all students to have access to becoming a CUNY School of Medicine doctor. So that's first and foremost. We will be increasing pathways in from particularly areas where educational and healthcare disparities really exist and persist. We've shown that we can be excellent in that space. This is important for our clinical partners in regards to our being able to advocate for additional clinical spaces. It's also important to governmental agencies in regards to our ability to advocate for ourselves and to our philanthropic, emerging philanthropic interest in this particular school. It also just allows us to really go out and recruit some extraordinary faculty and staff who commit to mission every single day. So that's the major reason. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, I certainly want to talk about the pathways a little later.
Okay.
I just want to get a few questions about the school itself. How many students does the CUNY School of Medicine are currently enrolled in CUNY Medicine's BS MD program, and then its MS in Physician Assistant Studies program?
Okay, there's probably about 100 PA students currently right now. We can go up to a class size of 42. We're not there yet. Why? That would be your next question, right? I don't want to read your mind.
You should. A good doctor is a mind reader, right?
We hope.
I'm a little nervous for the psychiatrists in the back who are.
I come well armed. It's not for you, it's for me. It's not for you.
So tell me the why.
So we're constrained by space. For just this week, we moved our PAs to a larger space, but we still cannot accommodate really comfortably more than 38, 39 students. Mm-hmm. The demand for PAs in this country is, if you read anything, there's just booming. This is one of the oldest PA programs in the country. In fact, it's the first or second public PA. The first was a private Duke. And if you look at our first graduating class, probably the first black PAs came from this school. And one is Miss Annie Brown, who comes to graduation every year to inspire everyone. And she's in her 80s, but don't tell her I told you that. We can do more in this space, but we don't have the space. We could easily increase our numbers. The demand is there. Our excellence has been assured over time, but it's about the space and clerkship spots, things of that nature. So
how far along is the School of Medicine in finding? How far along are you in finding physical space?
Well, that's a great question.
I only ask great questions, so.
That's what I heard. I heard that about you. Some conversations have begun in regards to just whether or not we have the capacity in City College. And it's pretty clear to us, we do great things in a very constrained space. 87,000 square feet is really incredibly small. When you guys come to visit, which I hope you will, Sarah, she's going to help me get you here. We've actually expanded into I know that you're leaving, but, I know who runs this place.
Your last task will be to get me a visit to the School of Medicine.
But we've actually, because we've been challenged with student study spaces, our students are always complaining. In fact, that's one of the issues in which the LCME, has concerns about. But they have concerns across the country in that space. We've actually created spaces in the hallways. We've tried to be really creative. But yeah, no, we need the space. And limitations for both the PA and the MD is the number of chairs. And it's about 100 that we can get up to, probably 98 considering, if you have someone with a disability. We cannot educate somebody who has who's in a wheelchair. Well, so that's really the major limitation. And so we look forward to finding additional space someplace.
That's ADA compliant.
Pardon?
That's ADA compliant, I would.
Well, right, so we're an old building, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to, but that doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right, but you can't retrofit it. The other thing that I would say is that our MD school, our MD program, BSMD program, we've actually, when I got there, we were taking about 60 to 70 students a year. I've expanded that to 96 or 90, 94 or 96 students, which is pretty much the maximum as an undergraduate, U1. So there's about 300 of those guys floating around. And then we have the MD program. So the combined between the BS and the MD is about 600 to 650. We have students who often will go on, leaves for research or for other reasons, but it's a lot to accommodate in a pretty small space.
And the space you're looking for is, you want to remain in Harlem, or how far out away from that original area are you looking for your physical space?
So some of this is above my pay grade. Okay, I'm not the architect, but I am the dean. We have 50 years of established service and commitment to Harlem. Mm-hmm. But we've done it in a unique space, and there's some value added to being part of the Harlem Renaissance, the New York City Renaissance. We are active in every single borough. For instance, I'm going to pick on you, the Bronx. I'm that stupid woman. We have the Richard Esquerdo School. We're at the St. Barnabas Hospital. We're in Jacoby, North Central Bronx, rich partnerships there. Working with Urban Health, which I think you know, that fairly qualified health centers. That's the place and space we want. We want to be in safety net spaces. So we create leaders who know how to take care of the underserved.
So I actually want to talk about that, because we know there are doctor shortages, there are shortages of medical professionals in areas like the Bronx, in especially the outer boroughs. We have, you mentioned Jacoby.
That's in the Bronx, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
You got it. Good job.
I got to check.
In the Bronx, although if there was a major contract dispute, in part due to staffing concerns. There are staffing concerns at Montefiore Hospital, which is in my district. So I'm interested to know if CUNY Medicine has any role or any part, whether it's part of your curriculum or part of your government affairs team, that does any work or makes any efforts to try to staff up in the doctor shortage areas, both geographic locations and the medical fields where there are shortage areas.
Yeah, great question. So let me begin with the fact that, our commitment yesterday, today, and tomorrow is the underserved. And as the dean, when I came in, I said our primary area that we're going to focus on are those where they really need us, right? They need us the most, where there are deep educational and healthcare disparities, because we believe that we're the difference, and we can be the difference that actually is the exemplar. So, hence why we're really working at building pipelines into those communities. Our limitation, quite frankly, has been clerkship spots, where our students can train. And we've been actively working on that. We've actually increased that significantly in the 3 years that I've been here. And we've gotten really wonderful partners. So we kind of think of ourselves as being the people who educate the students, who will go into these safety net hospitals like you've described. And then as far as further training, and then come back and stay in their communities. And actually, the data is pretty clear that 75% of our students, in comparison to the other New York City schools, stay in New York. That's almost a twofold difference. 52% of our students go into primary care, which is what area that is the most desperately needed. And almost 40% go into health professional shortage areas. Now, your question is provocative, right? It's provocative in the fact that, hey, well, there you go. Is provocative in that we can do more. How do we do more? We can do more by increasing our class size. We've done some economic assessments. And for instance, if we doubled our class size or increased it by 2.5-fold over time, now you can't just start ramping it up without being thoughtful about it. But that we can actually decrease the physician deficit in New York City significantly, like upwards to 20%. But we need to have the spots, and we need to have the spots in regard the infrastructure in place as it relates to the medical school, and then the clinical clerkship spots, if that makes sense.
So yeah, just to clarify, so the reason I also didn't get the distribution. So 75% of students stay in New York. I do want to know if you know the distribution to what neighborhoods or boroughs, but I just want to make sure I'm hearing you right, that the students may want to go to work in the Bronx or in Queens, where the ratio of providers to residents is much lower than, let's say, Manhattan. But you're saying that there's even disparities within neighborhoods in Manhattan.
Yeah,
but you're saying that just the spots don't exist, that the opportunities for your students don't exist for them to work in the hardship areas. Is that accurate?
Well, in the past, there have been affiliation agreements where they work with one medical school or another. And so we've slowly but surely gotten a foothold into some of these areas. We hope that there'll be more to come. I would like to tell you about a story of a student who we were having interviews for our Gold Humanism Honor Society, and a student who's from New York fell in love with the Bronx because of the fact, well, why wouldn't they? Anyway, so wants to work in the Bronx, wants to come back and work in the Bronx because she saw those deep disparities where she can make a difference. So we look forward to really enhancing our pipeline programs because we think that's going to make a difference from these areas that are most underserved. But our limitation remains the number of seats, and then the clinical clerkship partners. It'd be not wise of me to take a class of 300 when I only have 100 places to put in the clerkship. So we're working actively in that space to get more spots. And I would also say that I'm not opposed to doing some things more regionally if the spaces became available. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. I think at some later point I understand completely. I'm interested in what those distribution numbers are. Like, where do your students go off and acquire medical jobs? Yeah. Right, where they end up working.
They're predominantly in New York City, but I can get you a specific breakdown as to where they are.
Because because part of it is, you mentioned in your testimony, one of the great things that the CUNY School of Medicine does is there's such better admission rates and outcomes for students of color, for immigrant students than anywhere in the country. Is it fair to say any?
Well, it's not bragging if you can do it, right? So, we've actually, if you look at the numbers, as far as us putting out underrepresented in medicine students, pure underrepresented in medicine, it's a fourfold difference compared to the rest of the state. Yeah. It's not insignificant.
So I want to talk for a few minutes about the benefits of that, and then go to my colleagues if any of them have questions. Also, we were joined by Councilmember Oswald Felice from the Bronx.
Oh.
That's right. Gail, don't make that face. Because I want to talk about the work that CUNY Medicine does, because more people from communities of color, immigrant communities are being educated. That is incredible for those communities, and I want to talk about the benefits for good for those students. I want to make sure we talk about the benefits to the communities. So increasing pathways, for example, is one of those ways it's benefiting the entire community. I want to talk about institutional racism and institutional sexism. Those are two components that advocates argue plague the medical system, including in medical school education. CUNY is home to a diverse range of students, as we spoke about, many of whom will go on to serve perhaps diverse communities. Can you talk a little bit about, first, what is it when we talk about institutional racism and sexism? Like, what does that look like in the medical field, like in providing care? And then what training is being put in place to ensure that these future doctors are aware of potential biases that may exist?
Yeah. Well, that's a complicated question.
It's a complicated topic.
You bet. You bet. So, institutional sexism, racism is, I think, what you're talking about. And quite frankly, when I went to medical school, I was one of a few, right? Black or brown people. Women were not in the majority. Currently, women are in the majority of people who are in medical school. And certainly in our school, we actually lead the state in having our percentage of that. We also lead the state, we actually are a leader in the country as it relates to African American students. Medicine has been an area where there haven't been lots of women, lots of people of color. We've helped to change that. One of the challenges for our students, I would say, that they've gotten so accustomed to it. Okay, I mean, that when they go back out to the world, sometimes there's a bit of a conflict, meaning when they do clerkships, because they've been in a bubble where they've got the person who's sitting next to them prays on Sunday, or another one prays on Saturday, the other one may not pray, right? But with that being said, they learn that they need to take care of all people. Our students also, there's lots been written, that they don't know about, but by the National Academy of Sciences about the value of having diversity in the healthcare workforce and in the science, and that the people who have these backgrounds, whether it be women or minorities, putting them together allows for better questions to come forward and better results. I think, this is something that we're grappling with at a national level, but at our level, our students, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a person of color. You may, and I am a woman. I'm just going to get that out there. Thank you. It's a unique place and space. But there aren't that many women, African-American women, who are deans. And certainly I think I'm maybe the only one who's in the Northeast, maybe in the top part of the United States, north part of the United States. We believe that representation matters, and these young people, and just a little thing like wearing a white coat and having your name on it, which is they all get one with their name on it, to empower them, representing who they are and where they come from, their people. And so when I came, they didn't have that. They didn't have deans who walked around with a white coat. They now see that. And they also see the power. They also learn what they should and should not have to put up with. And so I hope that answers your question.
So I'm sure that your hard work paved the way for a lot of my former students to see someone in the field that they can look up to and say, this is a profession that I can do. And I'm sure that there are many more people, many more women, many more people of color who are in the field because they had leaders like you who were among the first in your field to do it. So I thank you. So you spoke very importantly about, the representation, what it means to have a diverse workforce. Do you think that there is any relationship between that representation and what medical care looks like. You mentioned one comment about like asking certain questions. I don't know if that was like in a room of doctors with a patient, but does having a diverse workforce impact the care that communities of color, women, immigrant communities, any of the other underserved communities your school's serving, that the care they are receiving?
Yeah. Well, that's a really important question, particularly in these times, right? Yeah. So I've spent my entire career focusing on diversifying the workforce as far as helping women and people of color come up the academic ranks. I'm pretty blessed. And so my commitment to that is real, as it is to my students. And what, there's one particular student in particular who he's a true introvert, but likes to just come by the office, hi Dean, and just sit and watch me. I'm not certain what he's actually thinking, like, wow, I could do that. But I do hope he's saying, I can do that, right? Because this country's going to need leaders, it's going to need a lot of healing. The literature is very clear about the role of having a diverse workforce as it relates to educational and health disparities. There's a recent JAMA article, which I can certainly make certain the council has, in regards to says if you have one black physician in a county, not that even that person's taking care of everyone, but the health care of the whole community goes up, is improved. So we can't go out and change our phenotypes, right? What we look like on the outside. Okay, that's genetic lottery, right? But we can change how we act, what we believe. And the data is pretty clear that if you are around people who think in a diverse way, that you take better care of people. You hear differently. And I think, so I'm really proud. So I must say that a few days ago, was it 2 days ago, I had to go emergently to see my son, who was admitted to a hospital. And, I sat there watching people come in and out. And it's nothing like being a physician undercover, if you know what I mean. And the dean. And they said, can you have a medical student come in? And I said, he looks at me and I said, let's not tell them I'm the dean. Let's not tell them I'm a doctor. So the student comes in, asks a few questions about family history. How did this happen? I was really proud of my students on that day. Why? That student doctor who's getting ready to graduate now, didn't ask about who he was, where he comes from, right? What does he do for a living? Does faith play a role in his life? And it's a medical student, so they got plenty of time in some of these spaces. That's the difference, right? Nice person. Perfectly, I'm certain, probably going to be a fine doctor, but not the type of doctors that we want in many ways. Did they look at his phenotype? And those type of things are part of the reason why we have these disparities. You got to dig a little deeper. And what we know is that those people who come from a diversified workforce listen differently. Those students who speak a language other than English, like I said, 85% of my students speak a language other than English, that you listen differently. And patients get it if you're trying to hear them. And we have to be willing to listen. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's so important, even whether or not the doctor, that's really interesting, whether or not the doctor looks like or has the same background as the patient, the fact that they come from a diverse workforce means they listen differently. I also want to congratulate you on being the first person ever to testify to use the word phenotype, and twice, no less.
I do have an MD behind me, so I just have to show that I went to medical school, because
Yeah, I wasn't sure before.
I'm not as talented as a teacher, but I had fantastic teachers, and thank you so very much for that. And that's one of the things we actually are working with, is figuring out how we can work with teachers to help push students through this pathway. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I taught phenotype, genotype, but they took Punnett
You know
squares.
that.
Yeah, I didn't Google what it meant. But they took Punnett square off the Regents years ago, which big mistake.
Yeah.
I want to turn it over to Councilmember Brewer for questions.
Thank you very much. The primary care, which is so important, you said 52%. Would that be mostly in New York City, or it's just hard to gauge?
It's a little harder to gauge, but mostly New York City is where I would say.
Okay.
Most our students, unlike others, tend to stay put, meaning they come from the cities. I mean, well, we actually have a highest of New York State residents, right?
Oh, great.
100% of our students are New Yorkers, which they may have put that in the packet. There's a paper that shows that even the next closest of the New York State schools is 90%. So our students are New Yorkers, and they tend to stay in New York.
What about housing?
You've got apartment building?
But I mean, I know I'm trying actually, in doing some ULIPs, to trying to get some housing for Macaulay students, as an example. So, but I would say for your students working long hours, even housing graduation. So I don't know how you're dealing with it. It's a big problem for CUNY in general, but I would say for your students, particularly hard.
Thank you for that question. One of the things that deeply concerns me, first of all, that they commute so far. And, when you're on the subway or the bus,
With those big, heavy books, yeah.
with big, heavy books, can you really study?
No.
One. Two, medical students tend to study for very long periods of time. We've tried to make things nicer for them as we've come in because we know that. They'll stay for 24 hours. So this is a problem. When I got there, they were running across the street at midnight or the night before, after, getting cups of coffee because there was no coffee in the place. This is a big city. I, as a dean, worry. I'm a mother. I worry. That's our jobs, to worry. And so we've done things like when our students have rotations and there's no nearby bus stop or subway stop, you're coming off call. It's midnight or 2 o'clock. I'm concerned about their personal health and safety, right? Even if we just have a car that takes them to the subway, I'm still concerned. So getting to your question, I would like for you, I know you love Macaulay, but I'd like to see a little love coming this way.
Always in my district.
Well, I understand that.
But you do need housing.
We absolutely need housing, and we need housing. There's no place that I know where there isn't housing and right next to it. We believe that student success is intrinsically intertwined with housing. And, we're not talking about the Ritz-Carlton. What we're talking about is a room that's clean, just like when I was a medical student. I didn't come from a lot of money, right? So there was a room, a pull-out bed, desk, we shared a bathroom. And that's what they need. And we would actually prioritize that in such a way that we would say after a certain year that you would have to live there. Because we think that is so important. And then when you look at the fact that our students are working, we need housing. And some of the Macaulay kids, we understand that. And with our new Pathways programs, there's going to be probably linkages to that.
So I would suggest wherever you're looking for new space, that housing should be part of it if possible.
Yeah, so it's hard to disentangle which priority first. And we've decided that the medical education building, our facilities are so challenged. No, it's a beautiful building, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it was designed for a high school 200 years ago. And we don't have state-of-the-art facilities in regards to, they have to travel even for that. So I believe our students deserve the best that we can give them. And
Well, one suggestion is, I mean, I won't belittle it, but as the migrants move, some of these hotels and SROs are going to be available. I'm working on some now too, just to keep that in mind. So that would be something that CUNY should pay more attention to, and also dormitory authority. The way it works, as you know, is CUNY has to come up with the money, but dormitory authority will assist, just FYI. So I don't know, I know housing is a big problem for all CUNY students, but
Yeah.
yours in particular because of the kind of hours they have.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
The other question I have, do you have Macaulay students? Because I know you said earlier,
So
there's a pipeline from City College, so I just wanted to understand that.
it has not been a pipeline really for Macaulay students. The good news about for us this, the period of time that we'll be at the Graduate Center is that we'll be able to work closely. I've met your dean of the Macaulay School, wonderful young woman, and we look forward to partnering with them. But so again, this standalone status allows us to sort of expand new opportunities and new pathways for our students. For instance, our 3-year accelerated bachelor's program. I have no problem with our students going 4 years. I mean, there are other things that they may be interested in seeing and makes them a better doctor. We're just interested in getting kids through. And so there's just a lot of way to do it, and we're looking forward to these conversations. It's really going to be an exciting time at this medical school.
Okay, and then the other question is the public health school, do you work with them at all? Grad? I love the dean there too, so I was wondering if you work with them.
Yeah, so those are opportunities. They're at the Graduate Center, and so during the time that we're there, we're looking forward to actually working with Iman as well. As you know, I've got a public health background myself. Our community health and social medicine department, we're really interested in population health as well. And so we look forward to, we've had preliminary conversations about what we might be able to do together. Clearly, teamwork is so critical in CUNY and places where it's a little bit under-resourced.
Okay,
So,
thank you, Mr. Chair.
We've been joined by Councilmember Botcher, who will be asking questions.
thank you.
Hi, Dr. Green.
Good
Thank
morning.
you so much. I want to thank our chair, Eric Dinowitz, for today's important hearing, and I want to congratulate you on having my friend and constituent, Kara Berkowitz, on your staff, whose daughter Zella just interviewed me for the PS 11 Post. Tough but fair interviewer.
She's a roving reporter.
Yes.
These 10-year-olds,
Yes.
I have not met Zella yet, but I've heard a lot about her. I know
You will.
she's 10 and she likes to travel and she's a quieter spirit. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you took time out of your busy day to
Took
interview.
lots of notes, very serious. Want to ask you about the cost of the transition into a freestanding medical school. What would you, what's the cost both in expense and capital in making this transition?
Well, currently, that's not an easy question to answer. We've actually used our current funding sources to do the work that we've needed to do. There's some things that we need, there are people we need to hire. Some of them are behind you that we've used have now become part of our operating budget. So, but we believe that we can do a lot of that with our current funding. The challenge will be if we need to make any, for instance, we're thankful to the council that gave us $200,000 last year, and we've put that immediately towards the server and to upgrading our IT. We're going to need to do some of those types of things, particularly in an old building. I'm pretty frugal with resources. We feel strongly that when we need to be investing in our students, it's about student success and excellence first. And so we prioritize investment in our students. With that being said, and I would also say that because of the student population that we have, we know that there are students who struggle with food insecurity, housing insecurity, and things of that nature, probably at a much higher level than other schools. And so because of those things, we have to put a lot of more wraparound services, like our mental health, well-being. Dr. Schwartz leads that initiative, and we've really got a first-class place. To date, we were actually doing a lot of this out of our budget because we felt so strongly about making certain that our students were cared for, knowing the struggles that they have, the struggles that their families have. So we think that there will be continuing costs. I can't give you an actual number of what that will be. Clearly, if we make a decision that we should move to a different place, then there may be things that we would have a deeper conversation about. But right now, as you know, we're in a pretty ultra lean budget, and so pretty frugal. But and also, I'd also add, the fact that I just want to make this point, if I may. I mentioned working with best in the class faculty, right? There's something called the 25th percentile, or the 50th percentile, or 75th percentile for the AAMC, Association of American Medical Colleges, faculty salaries. We are not there for the national average, and not to even think about New York City. So that is actually one of the areas where we'll struggle. In order to keep high quality talent, I'm so grateful for these people. These are mission-based people who've come here to make a difference. But when we're trying to recruit somebody who might be at, you name a private, who has faculty housing, pays them higher, has faculty housing, and I, Carmen Green, have to go there on my good looks. Now, I think you think I'd win, but it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. And even, we just don't have housing for people, so we can't even put that as a sweetener. So that's going to be probably our next biggest hurdle to. And that's part of the reason why we're a hungry, scrappy school. And, we went after this $19.3 million grant. We're proud to have it. There were some cuts to that grant, but we're happy to have it because we know that medical schools are built on a couple of things. There's the tuition. We don't want to be tuition dependent. Because if you're tuition dependent, you're just sort of cranking the kids in, right? We want to not just get kids in, we want to get them out. We want supremely competent physicians going out there to take care of New Yorkers, one. Two, I would say that from that perspective, medical schools are built on, so you have NIH funding, federal funding. You have foundation funding. You have governmental funding. When I got here, we probably had $3 million in NIH funding. We've actually tripled that in 3 years. And this $19.3 million grant isn't included in that. And the year to date is not over with. So we are doing great things, and we're working really hard. But investment is needed. It's unusual for a dean to be sitting down over the holidays writing this type of grant to support their students. And actually, this grant, the $19.3 million grant, is really focused in Harlem, the upper part of Harlem and the South Bronx, and areas that are really in need. So thank you for the question.
I know you'll continue to be in touch with your local city council members and the speaker's office about further needs. Thank you so much.
And I also hope, if I may, I understand that you have friends. And I heard, does he have friends? He does, okay. So she says you have friends. If you have the opportunity to advocate on our behalf with any of your other friends, we would deeply appreciate that. Yeah. I can't be anywhere.
Friends at the city council?
No, well, you have friends. They're in elementary school interviewing you for newspapers. Those are your friends. I was interviewed by a middle schooler the other day, so those are my friends. That's it. Thank you, Councilmember Bottcher. Councilmember Felice.
Thank you so much, Chair Dinowitz. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here and also for all the information and for all the work that you do in the CUNY system.
Thank you.
So I'm a big fan of CUNY. I'm not exaggerating. I think it's the best public higher education system in the entire country. Year after year, we see CUNY accept so many students of all backgrounds, all incomes, and within years, we see these students become professionals, moving up the economic ladder very quickly. So, and I'm one of those students, by the way. I didn't go to the CUNY School of Medicine, but I did go to the CUNY School of Law and Lehman College, and Bronx Community College as well. So I have a few questions about access and also about the spacing issues that you mentioned. Can you talk to us a little bit more about the spacing issues? So I know you mentioned you don't have enough space for all the students that want to get into the college. So talk to us about the spacing issues and also about steps that CUNY and the School of Medicine has taken to, I guess, look around for additional space.
Yeah, great question. You know, from a spacing issue, we know that we can do more, right? For every student that we take out of Brooklyn or Queens, we know that there are two more students, at least two more students who are equally as talented. And it's heartbreaking for Dr. Wilson-Anstey to say, you don't get in, but you're really qualified. And so we know that we can do more. From a spacing issue, you know, just a physical structure. You know, I had to tell our students, our undergraduates program, the Sophie Davis School, is co-administered by the medical school. We actually teach over 70% of the classes. And City College, and that's the way we'll be. We'll also be doing that as we create these other new pathways in. With that being said, there's lots of spaces over at City College, but our students prefer to be home with us. And so recently I had to tell our undergrads, our U1s and U2s, they don't get to play in Harris Hall because the medical students are studying for this high-stakes exam, the USMLE. And, you know, there was a little bit of whining but they also understood. And I said to you, you know, there will become a time when you want me to do the same for others. But the study spaces are just there's not enough of them. And we've tried to be creative to do that. In regards to looking at buildings and things of that nature, you know, we're open to lots of different possibilities. And some of this is above my pay grade, right? I do know what a state-of-the-art medical education building looks like. I know what's in it, I know who's in it, and I know what it does. And so that's what we're looking for. I'm fond of saying that my kids are dreamers and so am I, right? And I've got big, bold, aspirational dreams. Sometimes I don't tell them because it scares people.
Okay. And I guess the follow-up question, would the School of Medicine be open to having, let's say, part of the school at City College, but also having a second part at another CUNY? Or do you think you need everything in one campus?
So this is our plan. You know, we are going to really spend a lot of energy in pathway programs and led by Dr. Wilson-Anstey, okay? So our pathway programs are so the data is pretty clear right now that if you really want to get a diverse group of people into the medical professions, we now need to go further down the pipeline. We need to go to middle schools. And we started those types of conversations with several schools. She's starting a middle school program that's going to occur on Saturdays. Somebody else heard about it in a different borough, said, can we think about having conversation? Each one of those programs that we do, there's a cost associated. And so that's one of the places the council could potentially help. With that being said, as we create those pathways in, so that's the middle school, there's high school programs, summer programs, they're year-long programs. We also want to create one that goes to community colleges because we know that there's a lot of talent in these community colleges. You know, the kid who didn't know. And it's really disappointing every year when we find one student who said, I didn't know, one, that there was such a program as the BSMD program, or I would have applied. We're hearing frequently that people say, I didn't know CUNY had a medical school. Well, let me be clear. We have a medical school. The pathway has been through City College. You apply to City College, and you have to go to City College into the MD program. We recently applied and received the permission to open up direct admission to the medical school. We are actually really very much more interested in these pathway programs because we think that there's something special about what we do and how we do it in the undergraduate experience. So we had a great conversation recently with a couple of presidents. You may know who they are. I'm not going to call them out in public. They were CUNY presidents, and they've always asked the question, why can't my kids go to the medical school? So we look forward to creating pathways in that are similar to the one at City College, but there will come a point in time in which what we do as medical professionals who are teaching students, where students will have to come together, if that makes sense. So we look forward to creating those pathways and through like-minded partners, whether they be Hunter or Brooklyn College. I can go through a list, but people who have a high propensity, strong pre-medical programs, but we would take control of because we think that what we do is special. Okay, so you believe that CUNY is the most important institution? Let me be clear.
Successful too.
Yeah, let me be clear. I think we are the most important medical school. Okay, now, that's not because these others aren't important, don't get me wrong, but because for what we do for New York City, I think we're a jewel for this country, and certainly for the state.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, just want to put it out there, Lehman College, if you're looking for space, Lehman College has a large, beautiful green campus. They have a lot of space, so I'm sure they'll welcome a medical school with open arms. But even more than that, they're located in the Bronx, historically disadvantaged community, and we always talk about making sure that people have access, so would welcome a tour and the conversation.
Yeah, well, I would welcome you to come visit our school, see what we do. We have a very strong presence in the Bronx and in Manhattan. I mean, those are areas where health disparities, educational disparities are troubling. And that's the space. So, I have this quote like Mother Teresa, and why she went to Calcutta. That's where the work was, and that's kind of how we're focused, is where the work is. And so, pardon?
I didn't like Mother Teresa.
Well, you didn't like her, so I get it. Is she joking?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, I never knew the woman, but from my perspective, I'm just saying I'm talking about not her. I'm talking about the work. I'm talking about the work going into communities where people are underserved and troubled. And actually, what I would say is that one of the neat things about the school is that we see potential. Now, when you come to the school, you'll see kids. You'll say that person looks really young. That's because they really are. And sometimes they have a hole in their genes, and I have to say, come here, or but it's about seeing potential and the humanity and uplifting the human spirit.
Yeah, well, I'll be interested in continuing that conversation, seeing how we could potentially bring the School of Medicine to the Bronx. I think there's some interest to that.
Well,
Councilmember Felice, thank you so much. You mentioned Lehman College. Which council district is that in? Oh, that's my district. You're a graduate. I took some classes there. It's a good one. Got in my district. And they have a beautiful new nursing school, which the council in part funded. Beautiful facilities. We did a tour of it. Could add a couple floors there and invite the medical school in. That'd be great.
well, we'll see about that. But
I like your non-answer
we love
answer.
nurses. We think we've got a PA program too. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not ruling out anything. I'm saying that we've got 50 years of excellence in Harlem, and my understanding is about 10 blocks away from Harlem is the Bronx. I mean, I could walk there, but I'd have to walk across that bridge. But I'm not certain. I'm not certain which bridge that is. I'm not a native New Yorker. You may not have heard that. So.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Felice.
I would just like to note that I'm receiving text messages from another constituent of mine, Cynthia Smith, who's been at the school, at your school for 6 years, who says that the school's fantastic and that Dean Green has a huge vision for the school. So it's great to hear in real time from some of your great faculty.
Yeah. Well, we love our students. We adore them. They are beloved. And so thank you for that.
I want to just touch on this National Institute of Health grant and other federal grants and federal policies. I guess big picture, we have now a president who has threatened to cut or has attempted to cut funding, federal funding, for various reasons. We have nominated right now, going through hearings, a Secretary for Health and Human Services, who may be confirmed, who is trying to cast doubt on things like vaccines, which work and save people's lives. Whether related to the funding, is there any fear of funding being cut off from the National Institute of Health? And just to be clear, this is the National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities, and we know the president has already cut off funding for DEI initiatives. Is there any fear of that funding being cut, being restricted in any way? And is there any fear among the staff or the students of how you're going to be approaching education when the potential Secretary of Health and Human Services is casting doubt on things in the medical field?
Well, thank you. We're living in challenging times, disturbing times, in some respects. We worked really hard for that grant. We earned it. No one gave us anything. We earned it. The science is pretty clear. What we're doing is fantastic. We believe that we can deliver on that potential. On behalf of these people, these New Yorkers, on behalf of our students. And we will fight for our students. Our moral compass, our North Star is pretty clear, which direction the school is going. So, you know, the people who have voted and spoken, I respect that. I'm a military kid. With that being said, we will advocate for the things that we think are important. We will be taking guidance day by day. We talk to our national and even our regional colleagues about things that are sort of upcoming. We have never, as it looks, you know, the fact that we have such a diverse class, our class is mission congruent with this city, right? Consistent with our mission. We will stay that course. We don't look at race and ethnicity. We look at those who are historically underrepresented in medicine and who want to serve the underserved.
But what is it? So I guess there are two separate parts: the actual funding, and then also the policy. And what does it look like for a medical school to be teaching facts and science and medicine about, let's say, the MMR vaccine, and potentially having a Health and Human Services secretary who may say, you know what, we're not going to keep it on the schedule, or we're not going to provide funding for research into these vaccines? I mean, what position does that put a medical school in when you want to teach science? And I would just add, just to read two things, a Pew Research poll. It says, many Black Americans believe the U.S. political system was designed to hold them back. 2/3 say the country's political system is designed to hold Black people back. And then from another study from on NIH, says institutional distrust is more prevalent among racial, ethnic minority, and low socioeconomic status populations, especially African Americans. So we saw it during COVID. We are already in a time when there's deep mistrust of the government, of medicine, and the results can lead to greater health disparities among the very communities we need to serve. And so what does it look like for a medical school such as yours, not just to address, racial disparities as we discussed earlier, but to address it from a lens of the federal government adding complications?
Yeah. So like I said, we'll stay the course. We will focus on evidence-based. And where there's not evidence, we'll hopefully contribute to creating that evidence. The data, the literature is pretty clear about mistrust amongst people in the healthcare institution. That's historical. Lots of people say, well, it has to do with Tuskegee. It actually has to do with more than Tuskegee. I'm so sorry. I said people mistrust in medicine is longstanding. Lots of people think it's Tuskegee. I would say it actually extends past Tuskegee. I do think that one of the best ways forward, and the National Academies of Science has talked about this in several peer-reviewed books about the role of a diverse workforce, an inclusive workforce, in breaking down some of these barriers of mistrust. And so we believe that in many ways we're the good news as it relates to that particular trust. Now, I think, there's a lot of things going on. We've had our students focus on their work. And we will continue to look for guidance and watch what happens, advocate for our students, advocate for the science.
But so beyond the sort of literature about a diverse workforce, moving beyond that, what does it look like for a School of Medicine when guidance may come down from the federal government that may instruct doctors or may guide doctors to do things that aren't based in science? Does the school have its own approach that is going to come into conflict with the federal government's that could come into conflict with federal government guidelines? I mean, what I'm asking is functionally, what does it look like for your school? What does it look like in the classroom? Are you or other institutions, have there been discussions about disagreeing with federal guidelines?
There's conversations that go on the national level and certainly probably at the regional level in regards to, how we're going to deal with some of these types of mandates, if there comes to mandates. Thought we will combat that with evidence. We will advocate on behalf of our patients and on behalf of our students. And I think right now we're in a time in which you're going to have to take stuff day by day. The conversation about we're not going to fund any of these NIH grants, and it was sort of reversed. And then the question is, which ones will you fund? And we will continue to advocate on behalf of our school, on behalf of our students, and certainly on behalf of our patients. So I can't, what day is this? So January 20th, day 11? What day is this? Today is the 30th, the 10th day. My feeling is that, right now we will, this is a time in which we will continue to do what we do that is right and best for patients and best for our students.
But I think gender identity is like a really good example, because there's already been, statements and guidance from the federal government what certain forms will look like, but you spoke really beautifully about what it looks like to be a doctor who speaks to the patient and connects with the patient and makes the patient feel comfortable and understood. I get it, your goal is healthcare, right? You want to make sure the patient is healthy. And so what does it look like for you guys in the classroom, in your curriculum, in your guidance, when perhaps you know that the most important thing is to connect with that patient, make the patient be healthy, and the federal government is telling you the opposite? I mean, are you giving different guidance to your kids, to your students, than the federal government?
We take an oath. And I think of all the places, one of the most sacred spaces is that little floor where a patient comes into a room and they talk to their doctors. They tell the doctor things that they've never told to anybody else. And we need to embrace the patient where they are to help them to be the most healthy, to live the most healthy life. clearly there's a lot of good discussion as it relates to some of the issues you're talking about. But it's our job to take care of the patient. And, you know, the example that immediately comes to my head is, you know, my brother's a cop. And I've taken care of people who've murdered police officers, right? Didn't like it very much. But that's okay, because I acknowledged it, right? And I actually think I took better care of them than some. It is my job, it's my calling. I take an oath to give people the best quality care that we can, regardless of who, you know, it's about the person being able to determine their identity, right? So in this case, in the murderer, you know, that person will be judged by a jury of their peers. It is my job to take care of them. And that's different from just about anything else, that particular oath. So we get to determine as physicians some of these questions. And, you know, there are people who are appointed who are not physicians. Or will, I'm not certain if they will or not. But the physician gets to make some of these types of decisions. And what we need to do is preserve the patient-physician relationship. That bond should be unbreakable, regardless of who's in office.
It should be, and I hope it is. We're certainly living in a time when, ironically, right, counter to what some of the talking points are, it seems that there's a particular party that is more interested in micromanaging what goes on in that very special space between the doctor and the patient, where doctors across the country are afraid to provide abortion care because of state regulations. I'm fearful of a time when you're going to, your students who are going to go out into our underserved communities are going to be shackled by providing care that is subpar because of that overreach of the federal government that isn't based in science, but is based on ideology. And you know what I'm hoping is that CUNY School of Medicine, without being political, just states very clearly that we're going to continue to ensure that our curriculum is based on science and is based on the health of the patients, the health of the people we are here to serve. That your curriculum, your guidance is all going to reflect that, and not the whims of an ideological-driven administration, whatever side of the aisle they may be on.
Yeah, and respecting the humanity of the person.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. And I don't see that changing as long as I'm the dean. I mean, we care, I mean, as the man said, we care very deeply for the person who's in the gown, who's in the bed. And our job, regardless of sometimes whether you like the person or not, is to provide them the highest quality care. Okay? So that's the space, and we'll do it in an evidence-based fashion, and we will do the best to try to actively hear them. You know.
Yes, thank you. I do want to ask, again, going back to the funding question, is there any fear or concern about funding being cut off from the federal government, including this grant from via the National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities? Has there been any concern or discussion about that?
Well, there's concern. There's always concern, right? And I am choosing to not live in a fear-based place. We will fight for this grant. We earned it. There is concerns about anything that talks about minority health. But there are people who are working through these issues, who will be advocating for us, and other organizations. This grant for us is foundational. And so we would ask you, because I know you got friends,
just the reporters who are in elementary and middle school.
You got to do better. You got to get out more. Anyway, yeah, to help us advocate for that. And we'll keep you apprised if we think that there are challenges coming. I'm going to say that I'm hopeful that we become friends during this period of time. But we're going to need your advocacy. We take an oath, those people who are elected take an oath, and it's both on behalf of people. And so that's what I would say to you. We are, we're watching this space very carefully. And we'll continue to watch the space. There's a point in time as we get ready to the football, you're on offense or you're on defense. And sometimes when you're on defense, we're not going back. The other part about being on defense is that every once in a while, you get a turnover. But you got to be ready for it. And so, yeah, I come from a football family. But yeah, that's how we're sort of looking at this. So we will be vigilant.
The first person to say phenotype twice, but not the last, but not the first person to make a football reference, I think. I'm not sure about that. See, I apparently have no friends, so I don't watch football with anyone, I guess.
It's okay. There are other sports, and there's other ways to spend your time.
Yes.
I learned very early. My father played for the semi-professional football, and I've got family members who have Super Bowl rings. My brother, my beautiful Thaddeus, they've elite college football players.
Right,
And with that being said, I learned very early in my life that if you didn't know football, you did dishes, and I don't do dishes.
I think we come from different families. My dad was on the, my dad was on the debate team, so it's about as far away as you can get. I lastly want to talk about recruitment and pipeline, because you've made references to this in the past, and I just want to talk about that. You said by being an independent school, you're better able to recruit from all of the CUNY's medical students, and I just want to ask, what that looks like, what it looks like to advertise. Are you coordinating with other CUNY schools to, one, advertise, to two, say, give me who are the top 10% of students, or who are the students that are in a pre-med or biology program, and do targeted outreach? I mean, what does it look like now that you're independent to recruit?
So great question. So one of the things that we plan on doing, and sticking with the model, the Sophie Davis model that has worked, is actually, allowing students to come from any place. So they can come from Brooklyn. And if they can come from the Bronx. Okay, I got you. Okay, they could come from Queens. And a student can choose where they're going to do some components of that education before they get into the medical school curriculum. So we want to preserve what we know has worked for generations. One, we make, that's probably the easiest lift right now. For instance, some students have come in from Brooklyn because the partnership that they've had that led to a BSMD program is, they've made some changes. And we're happy because they're CUNY students, and they're great students. We will really work through the whole conversation of pathways. We've got Ms. Zimmerman, who is actually really expert in communications. We're making enhancements in our recruiting of admissions people, so we probably need to actually, as we think about doing more, need resources to do that. But going out to like-minded partners, we can't be with everyone, right? So, but we can think about which places and spaces we really should be working in, and using that concept of educational and healthcare disparities, where those are the deepest, and that's where we'll probably focus a lot of our attention, but throughout the entire city. So we've got to do, I would say, a better job, because many people don't know we exist, and we will do that job. So hopefully that answers your question.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, I want to hear more. You mentioned a partnership with one high school, I believe, in your opening testimony. Is that right? Did I make that up?
So I talked about the Izquierdo School?
Yes.
Yeah, that one? Okay, yeah, so, we've had a long-serving, partnership with that particular school. We've had quite a few students who've come from that, this in the Bronx.
That's a high school.
Right.
I'm asking, yes,
They go
okay.
down to the middle school too. And so we're gonna make that a much more robust partnership. We're gonna make some partnerships with a few other high schools. Again, we've got limited resources in returns to finances as well as people, but we're committed to doing that type of work. We want to create, even though middle school, I'm sort of thinking about, will I be the dean when that happens? Anyway, but we are committed to bringing on this next generation of students, preparing them well. And that's the reason why we really want to open up these kind of pathways.
I mean, has the Department of Education, are you in communication and discussion with the Department of Education, and have they provided any supports for these types of programs?
Great question and great idea. Anyway, I think that, we had conversation. They wanted to talk about some other things. And, we look forward to those, with any like-minded partner, we look forward to that.
So what I'm hearing is that's something you're interested in, but it's not something that's sort of on the table right now.
Well, we've only been, let's see, really been actively working, being able to do work as an independent medical school since November. Even though the Board of Trustees, so that whole conversation regarding transitions, people still don't know we exist. Ms. Kara Berkowitz is starting to have people introduce us to them, and so we'll find some like-minded people who will want to invest in our students in our school.
I went to Lehman College, Lehman has CUNY on the concourse, and a few years ago I went to one of their great programs. It was a nursing program, and they had high school students who, I think on the weekends and during the summer, were engaged in real practical work in the nursing field. By the way, a field that is needed in the Bronx. And it was amazing to see these students they know where they wanted to go to college and what their kind of career path was, and high schoolers.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that sort of engagement for high schoolers and middle schoolers in the other medical degrees that are available through CUNY School of Medicine.
Yeah, and we do that.
Yeah, so
We
there's
have two programs, summer program for high schoolers. We've got a year-long program for high schoolers. But would we like to expand those? Absolutely. Would we like to have more students? Yes. And, I'm happy to, talk more about, how you might be helpful in helping to support that. We're working on kind of an ultra lean budget here, but we know there's a lot of talent out there and it needs to be developed. I call it sometimes undervalued talent, right? And I think you and I know with a little bit of investment, you get a huge return on investment in undervalued stock.
Yeah, that's right. I saw it every day in the classroom. I'm sure you see it every day, and I just, I wish for my students, people like all these careers in the abstract, right? Everyone's, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be the president. But to have a school, to have a CUNY system, to have the Department of Education go in and actually say, here's what it looks like, here are your opportunities, you can get your summer internship money, you can get these certifications, go into college already with credits. That's a totally different approach than putting an ad on the subway, which, nothing against the CUNY School of Medicine, but every time CUNY comes, very often I ask about what does recruitment look like? And they say, oh, we put ads on the subway. And
No.
it's just what it is.
No, that's not our work. That's not how, there may be, I'm not certain there's a CUNY School of Medicine ad on the subway.
No, just like a CUNY.
Yeah.
Just CUNY.
But I think, it's a bit of a joke, but I think, what I say is that we're doing it on the ground floor, right? We want to do more. We can do more with additional resources. But we do really great things big things with the resources that we have. And so that's how I'd respond to you on that one.
I want to thank you for coming and for what feels like the entire School of Medicine coming. All of them different types of doctors, by the way, in the back. But Doctor, I want to thank you for coming today. I know you're in sort of like the beginning stages of independence. I'm really excited about what this means for our city, really excited about what it means for our students, about the care that can potentially be given to underserved communities, and certainly look forward to what that pipeline looks like, what that outreach, what that engagement with our younger students looks like, so that they can go back to our communities and provide better health care, both preventative and treatment health care.
And I would say to you, we thank you for this time. We know there's a lot of dreamers out there, and so is the dean. And there are a lot of parents who've always, unfortunately, we had a little video, and now that Samara is gone, I don't know if we can get it to you. But a little video that just shows about how diverse, our student body is, how amazing their parents are. These are first-generation kids in general. So I say we're dreamers, and we're trying to make, dreams become reality for those who want to go into medicine, whether it be, a physician or a PA. We're looking at also thinking about how we put together programs that enhance the city of New York. Mm-hmm. And so, or where there's deficits. And so, clearly nursing is a specialty but we think about things in an interprofessional way. Just to be clear, I'm dean of the medical school, but we're looking forward to coming back and sharing our progress, and we hope you'll invite us back.
Only if you talk about phenotypes.
We can talk about phenotypes and genotypes, and then, we can talk variability. So again, we're excited about this, and so we would invite you to the school. I think we would love to have you come out, meet some young people, look at what we're doing. But I thank you for your ongoing support.
Thank you. I'd love to come by and, see firsthand the work you're doing, also meet some of those students and the parents. You spoke about the parents. That's, every parent, I think, works so they can give a better life to their kids than they were able to have for themselves. And in many cases, that's what you're doing. You're as a school, you're giving a better life for our students so they can go out and give a better life, a healthier life for their community members. Yeah. So thank you very much for your testimony today, for everyone from CUNY School of Medicine who has come. And I look forward to that visit and to a working relationship where we can provide the support that you need so you can continue to provide for our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. For in-person testimony, we have someone signed up, Christopher Leon Johnson. Are you in the room? Okay. If there's anyone who wants to sign up to testify, you can see the sergeant at arms in the back and fill out the slip. Okay, seeing no one. Okay. I would like to thank you again for coming today. As I mentioned, there's incredible work that you're doing and incredible work that we need to continue to do. And we in this council are going to continue to support CUNY and fight for CUNY as we have done in every budget cycle. Despite the challenges from the federal, state, or local government, this council is committed to supporting CUNY because we know that there's no better return on investment than an investment in our students. I want to thank everyone for coming today, and with that, this hearing is adjourned.